Hi, everybody. It's Eamon here, and welcome to another podcast from Pat Monk Presents. Today we have Kevin joining us all the way from Thnks. Welcome to the podcast. How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome. Great to have you on the show. So, for those who are listening in who maybe aren't familiar with Thnks, can you give us a quick download, a quick overview of how you help people and businesses?
Sure. So Thanks is a US-based global company that was built on a very simple but powerful insight that people do business with people they like, and everybody likes to feel appreciated. So we believe that small, regular gestures of appreciation build the relationships that grow professional networks. And Thanks essentially creates that more grateful and connected business world by educating and empowering the world's professionals with gratitude as a fundamental virtue. So our platform is built to facilitate the immediate delivery of thoughtful gestures of gratitude to a professional's network of external or internal connections.
Fantastic. And yeah, it's so true. I mean, if someone feels gratitude or someone gets a card or a thank you, they start listening even more because like you stand out. So I think it's a great concept. So, what kind of industries do you find yourselves expanding into?
Well, the industries, it's, everyone can use some appreciation in their life, right? Both personally and professionally. So, we don't necessarily limit ourselves to any individual industry. We look at it more from a job function or role. So it's a B2B platform primarily, right? With use cases around sales functions, marketing, client relationship building, and then even internal use cases with HR departments who are looking to reward and recognize their own employee talent. So that's primarily where we the sweet spot of where we live. We have seen success and from an industry perspective in the healthcare space, as well as in the tech sector and even ad sales and marketing teams.
Fantastic. And we were talking before, and I could see on the website about, Thanks Local. Can you maybe share a little bit more about that?
Yeah, of course. That's one of the exciting new developments that we've launched in the last few months. Our initial marketplace experience was mostly national vendors that we made available to our users. And some of the feedback we received is, well, it's great that we could have access to an Amazon platform or Starbucks or Uber and Grubhub, but it would be great if we could actually support those local small businesses in each of our communities and tap into the marketplaces that they have to offer. So we've now launched Thanks Local, which allows our users to not only send gestures of gratitude from the larger national chains that are available, but also the local mom and pop shops that are the heart and soul of all of our local communities.
No, no, like that's great to hear. I mean, it's good to hear that you're thinking nationally and you're thinking locally as well. So you're covering all the bases. So, I mean, with that, I mean, with let's say bringing in new clients, whether they're local or whether they're across the country, I mean, what different channels are you using? Is it like a LinkedIn? Is it outbound? Is it email? Like what seems to be working really good for you at the moment?
Sure. I mean, it's what we find is we have something we call the thanks factor, right? If you think about what we do, fundamentally, we're sending gestures of gratitude from one business professional to another. Every time a thanks is sent, the thanks factor kicks in. So we now get a bonus impression from the individual who's now receiving that moment of appreciation from one of their colleagues. So that essentially for us is it's free advertising, free awareness building, right? So we rely heavily on that to help us to sort of build our brand and to also extend our reach. But of course, on the paid media and the demand gen side, we do have significant efforts in place digitally within our search partners, which is primarily Google. We leverage both branded and non-branded search keywords. We do look at social as a key driver of our demand and capturing that demand. Our social efforts are primarily LinkedIn, as you can imagine, being a B2B service. But we also look at Meta, and we've tested there as well and seen some nice success. And then, we also expand beyond social and search into just display digital channels, mostly through the Google platform.
Okay, and like when you're using all these different channels, and let's say they're coming to the Thanks website, I mean, how important is your website taking those visitors and converting them maybe into future clients and happy customers?
Sure. The website is a critical role in our success. It's where we drive all of our prospects to. It's in many cases, it's the first sort of really emotional connection that our prospects will have with our brand and our platform. The website allows us to really articulate some of the key differentiators that we have within our space, and how we actually serve a much greater purpose than just a logistical sending platform, right? The website allows us to sort of really articulate our brand values and, what we stand for, as an organization.
Oh, that's great to hear. And kind of switching things at the moment. I mean, looking at, let's say, you and your role and everything that's happening. I mean, what I'd like to do is maybe jump into some quick fire questions if you're ready.
Mhm. Sure,
Okay,
fire away.
great. So you're in the hot seat now. So with this, I mean, what keeps you busy on a day-to-day basis at Thanks? I mean,
Yeah, well, look, I mean, we're a fast growing tech company, so change is the norm, right? The only thing that's constant is change. So, there's no shortage of opportunity that lies ahead of us. So, what's keeping us busy right now is really prioritizing our resources to capitalize on the vast amount of opportunity that's right here in front of us every day. We've got a limited amount of resources in terms of human capital that we have to deploy in a responsible and efficient way. What we have found is, as an organization, when we put our minds together and we collaborate the right way, nothing is unattainable. So the challenge we face is aligning and focusing on what is the next big growth opportunity that we want to go after. And when we do that and we do it well, which we usually do, we seek tremendous success.
fantastic. No, that's I like that. I mean, if you're really got your eye on the ball and you can see that grow opportunity, that's when you need to pounce. That's when you
Yeah,
need to
exactly.
move. And what was the last book you read, or the last book you maybe you're currently reading?
So the one I just finished, which I love, is Culture Eats Strategy for Lunch. I think it's Kurt Kaufman, I think, is one of the authors. It's a great book that just articulates the power of corporate culture
Mhm.
in an organization. So I'd highly recommend it.
Fantastic. Definitely check it out. So listeners, there we go. Good book recommendation. So appreciate that. Also, I mean, in what you're doing on a day-to-day basis at Thanks, I mean, if there was no boundaries in technology, what's one thing that you would have, maybe fixed or automated, that's maybe taking up all your time that you could wave a magic wand and there is some automation? What would that be?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, we're constantly seeking not just adding to our marketplace, but seeking sort of what are the right offerings to put out there to our users. So that's an ongoing, somewhat not manual process of outreach. That will be interesting to try to solve for. Looking at the marketing side, it's the evolution of our targeting, right? I mean, that's something that's more of a strategic decision for us, as we have to identify what prospects are we really trying to go after, and then finding the right way to get to them, both from a ad tech solution perspective and then the platform that we want to leverage. It'd be great if there was that little magic button that would tell us exactly who are the people that would be receptive to our thanks messaging and our thanks platform, and be able to deliver messages right to them to convert them to a client.
Well, if you can find that or invent that little magic red button, I'm sure you could become a
But
billionaire.
you know what, Eamon? We could start that up together. If let's figure that one out, and we can take this business
Let's
on the
let's
road.
let's do that. Let's do that. I'm definitely game. I'm definitely game for that
That'll
one.
be the next podcast. We'll talk about that next time.
Yeah. That's the next unicorn, guys. You heard it here first.
There you
So
go.
on this, thank you so much for being on the podcast. Cameron, what I want to do is I want to give you the last word. Okay, so imagine if people were to, let's say, forget everything that we just spoke about, and you were just to leave them with one really key thing about Thanks. What would it be?
Yeah, it's a great question, Eamon, and I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to sort of address the audience that way. And one of the key things that I would say about Thanks is what we do essentially is we help business people remove the barriers that they face in delivering their appreciation towards their clients, their vendors, their employees, whomever, right? No one would argue that gratitude and appreciation is critical in the development of valuable and healthy, long-lasting relationships, both personal and in the business landscape. So our platform is in place to deliver on a global scale to enable that frictionless onboarding of clients into the platform and deliver a very simple user interface that has no contracts, no spending requirements. And we provide a very robust marketplace that offers gestures of gratitude that are appropriate for any situation that you can imagine. So if you want it, we've got it. So, please don't, if you're in the market for some, opportunities to send your gestures of gratitude, Thnks is the place to be.
Fantastic. And definitely check out the website. It's spelled thnks.com. So thanks, THNKS. So yeah, definitely thank you so much for being on with us today on the podcast. And we look forward to hearing bigger things, and definitely anything that's promoting gratitude in the environment, both professionally or personally, I'm definitely in favor of, and I'm sure people on the podcast tuning in will definitely give it the thumbs up as well. So look, all the best, and thank you so much, Kevin. And for everybody else, see you on the next episode of Pat Monk Presents. All the best, and bye-bye.